Good evening and welcome. My name is Pastor Krista Zimmerman, and I serve as the associate pastor at Mount Pleasant Lutheran Church, which is in Racine, Wisconsin, on the south side of our synod. And I am also serving as the Gathering Synod coordinator for our 2022 ELCA youth gathering to be held in Minneapolis. And basically, the Synod youth or the Synod gathering coordinator is like the go-to contact for each of our synods. So if you imagine there's a group of full-time staff who work at the ELCA church-wide offices, and they are full-time gathering staff. But we have about 9,300 congregations and 64 synods. So they decided they didn't want to get that many calls at the main gathering office, and so they several cycles of the gathering ago recruited volunteers from each synod to be the synod gathering coordinator. So my job is to be the conduit from the information that we get from churchwide to our synods and congregations. So I can be your go-to person if you have any questions that you haven't already found in some of the resources that I'm going to share. So let me share my screen. And I have a little presentation for you. And it is such a beautiful night. And I'm really thankful that Pastor Kelly and Pastor Tyler are joining me live. And so they might have some things to contribute for sure, or some questions. But if you find yourself having questions after you watch this recording later, feel free to reach out. So, all right. So the new dates are July 24th through 28th in 2022. As we all know, it got postponed. It was supposed to be this summer, but because of the pandemic, it's been moved. But same location, same theme, and same boundless God. So this is the pre-registration training. So I'm going to be rather general in this training. Our agenda is we're just going to talk about some general gathering information so that you can be prepared to talk to the youth in your congregation and prospective youth in your congregation about and leaders, adult leaders, about getting ready for registration, which opens on September 22nd, 2021. And it's the cheapest from September 21st to November 21st. So you're gonna want to get that in the beginning. So all right, and then I'll talk a little bit about choosing adult leaders, a very important thing, choosing the right people, recruiting the right people, and other resources that you can just keep getting information from. So as you can see, the 2022 theme for the ELCA Youth Gathering is Boundless, God Beyond Measure. And this is the theme verse. And it was specifically chosen from the Common English version. No, I forgot what that stands for now. Pastor friends. But basically the idea is that, we are bound by our sin, by the expectations of others, by all the isms that try to divide us. And we want to invigorate the imaginations of young people on our boundless God, who has boundless love for us, boundless forgiveness. So that's the theme that we'll be exploring. The mission of the youth gathering has always been and will continue to be faith formation for youth, for teenagers, these are the vehicles in which they do it, with worship, interactive learning, Bible study, service, and fellowship. The goals of the gathering are to affirm and challenge the faith of young people, experience new perspectives, ponder our vocations, what God might be calling us to, what our passions are, our unique gifts, bond with our congregational group, and learn about the ELCA. I think of the 3 times that I've been, the kids are really always amazed about how big and wide the ELCA is, because I think, you know, not all of our churches know, beyond their own congregations or maybe beyond their own synod. So this is like, us and 30,000 of our closest friends. So the schedule is a little bit different because they had to move the dates from this summer to next summer. It's July 24th through 28th is the main event, but there are 2 pre-events, Mile and the Table, which I'll go into more in a moment. So those will begin July 21st through 24th, and the gathering will actually start on a Sunday. So July 24th, Sunday, the doors open for the mass gathering, which all the mass gatherings are going to be at US Bank Center, the big Viking ship where the Vikings of Minnesota play their football. And the mass gathering goes until 9:45. And the final 15 is the devotions at the end of the day that you do in your own groups. And then Monday through Wednesday are going to be on a rotating basis. So there's 30,000 people typically at these gatherings. And one of the things that they do is they break it up into 10,000 people chunks. So one section will do service learning on the first day. That will be their, Monday plan. And then maybe that same section, and it's all broken down by synod. So like everybody in our synod will be doing the same things for the 3 days. And then interactive learning day and Bible study would be the second day. And that's in a big convention center. Different ministries of the ELCA set up booths. The ELCA colleges sponsor a bunch of fun things like bumper cars and what else, like bounce houses and things like that. So and then say our synod would, the third day of our rotation would be synod day. So something cool about synod day in this rotation is that the Minneapolis St. Paul area has are 2 separate synods up there, and there's just there's tons of Lutherans in that area. So we're actually going to be having synod day at a local congregation. So our whole synod will meet at a local church, and they'll also be providing lunch that day, which I'm excited about because that's one less day I need to think about, what are we going to eat for lunch that day. And then each night is the mass gathering, which includes worship, speakers, and then each night, each congregational group or congregations, if you're traveling with another congregation, will do the final 15, kind of a check-in, debrief, devotions at the end of the day. And then Thursday is going to be the closing worship. This is a highlight for a lot of people. It includes communion. So those of you who have been before, you know how cool it is to take communion in a football stadium with 30,000 other people. It's very, very cool. So that's what we know so far. I wanted to talk about one of our pre-events, which is MILE, Multicultural Youth Leadership Event. Youth of color whose first language is not English. So all of the different strategies in the ELCA, the African descent strategy, the European descent strategy, the Latino group, like all of those groups will be involved in MILE. And it's going to be held at the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul. And it's $190 per person, which covers all housing, program expenses, and most food expenses. So Mile as well as the table are both optional pre-events. I know a few congregations in our synod have gone before. I know one off the top of my head is All Peoples. So definitely a great event to engage in if you have kids who are interested in doing that. The table is for young people with disabilities and a caregiver, and that will be held at a hotel in Bloomington, which is very close to the airport. And also $190 per person, and it's specifically geared towards folks who have any kind of disability. So both of these are pre-events, and then both lead into the main gathering events. So if people go to the table and Mile, they go to the gathering. And you know, it's not encouraged. I don't know if it's not allowed, but it's not encouraged to just go to one. So it's part of the whole shebang. So how to promote. So right now it's May 19th, 2021. And I think it's a beautiful night here in Wisconsin, and you might be out doing something fun tonight. To those who are joining me tonight, thank you so much for being here. And if you are just if you were just not ready to watch this tonight and you're watching this in August, that's totally fine too. But for anybody, this summer or this fall is a great time to be promoting the youth gathering, reaching out to the youth in your congregation so that they can have the option to participate in this awesome opportunity. You know, these are just some random ideas of contacting kids. You know the youth in your congregation best, and you know how best to reach them and invite them to this. You know, encourage you to use your communication channels and be creative. Just be creative in how you're sharing that. I know that Pastor Tyler had a cool idea. Would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, so we haven't used the videos yet, but what we did was we had our graduating seniors who are going to be busy with other things this summer because they're, you know, going on to different parts of life. And so we asked them to make videos telling about their experience at the gathering last time, so that when we start promoting it with our younger youth, that we're able to have a video from those who've gone before.
Yes, that is such an awesome idea. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, if you can encourage your older youth who have been to talk to your younger youth who haven't been, that's always a good thing. Registration. So registration opens September 22nd, and the ELCA, the gathering staff from Churchwide, they're going to be doing a pre-registration webinar because there's going to be a new registration system. So if you've taken youth in the past, it's going to look a little bit different this time when you're doing registration. So participants register as a congregational group with one adult serving as the primary adult leader. I was the gathering synod coordinator last time, and it ended up being mostly the primary leaders were the pastor, the paid youth staff, or whoever does youth ministry in your congregation. Each congregation can choose who you want to be kind of the main person, but the primary adult leader is the organizer for the gift, the group, receiving communications from the gathering office about housing and payments, getting into your account to see how much you owe, you know, order t-shirts, like all of that kind of stuff. So each congregation registers with their unique ELCA ID. So if you, I think, it's not too hard to find your congregational ID. You can ask your church office, or you can contact the synod, or I actually have a list of them too. So if you're having trouble finding that, but that's kind of how they track everybody through your congregational ID. All right, so there are different times to register. The early bird, which I highly recommend because it's the cheapest, and who doesn't want to save money, opens September 22nd and goes through November 21st. So in order to register, you need a $150 non-refundable per person deposit when you register. So like you could go in on September 22nd and put all the names of your kids, your adults, but your registration isn't complete until you pay the $150 deposit for each person. So, and you can see that the registration increases from there. So you can keep registering kids. Like if somebody ends up, deciding to join you later, you can still register them. But their final price is going to be dependent on when they enroll. So like if most of your group, does the early bird, they'll all owe $350. But, if you've got those two stragglers who were like, oh, it's February 23rd and I really wish I was going now, you can still sign them up. So, all right. What does it cost? This will really depend on your congregation and what you decide to do, but there are some prices that are kind of fixed that you can kind of plan on. But these are like the basic things of like what you're gonna have to budget on. So gathering registration, transportation, food, housing, activities, extras, fundraising. That's another like good reason to get going on this sooner than later, is that it is a big cost. It's an investment because it is absolutely worth it when it comes down to it. But start fundraising early. And I'm going to talk about the Gathering Handbook later. But if you have any like favorite fundraising ideas, go ahead and share those in the comments. And I'll share them in our Facebook group too. Housing. So the Gathering contracts with a variety of hotels, and they're really excited to welcome everyone. Hotel rates will vary, but they try to get around $159 per room per night, plus an 11% tax. Now, the ELCA congregations are not exempt from hotel taxes in the state of Minnesota. So wah wah. So they have been in some past years. They're not now. So you can count on around $160 per room. The room type will vary. It will vary on what kind of hotel, what kind of contract they can get with each of them. But you can expect your room block to have rooms that can average 3 people. Like you might get a king bed with like a cot or something, or you might get 2 queen beds. Just have to be flexible, but you'll know that in February. So this is a straw budget. So these are just some things to like think of. This is kind of what I'm thinking as far as like, the cheapest registration bracket. So $350 a person. How are you going to get there? Are you going to take a bus? Are you going to drive cars? Are you going to, rent cars? Thinking about food, t-shirts, at our church, at Mount Pleasant Lutheran Church, we have a fundraising policy that's like basically, for every fundraiser that you participate in, you get a share of the profits from that fundraiser. And then, think about, are the adult leaders paid for by the church? I know some churches do this. Our church does this. But think about, do you want to pay for the congregational leaders, or do you want them to pitch into, just these are some of the questions to think about as you're considering your budget. All right. So this picture right here is of the official handbook. So this handbook is like the Bible of getting ready for the gathering. Basically, everyone who's taking youth to the gathering should read this book cover to cover, because it's a wonderful wealth of knowledge from different people who have actually gone to the gathering. So I would encourage you to read that. You can either buy a physical one from Old Lutheran for $10, or I've also linked it to our Facebook group. And you can also find it on the ELCA Youth Gathering website in a PDF form. All right. So that's just read it. We already kind of talked about money, but think about it as an investment. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Some kids will get lucky enough to experience it a few times in their high school career, but it's just a great opportunity for growing in faith and life for everyone who participates. All right, so talking about adult leaders. So we've already kind of talked about who your primary adult leader is: somebody who's organized, somebody who can, really kind of like wrangle the whole group. And it's up to you how you want to like divide things up so that like the whole burden doesn't fall to you. Choosing the best adult leaders is just a critical thing for your group's experience at the gathering. Again, the gathering handbook has a bunch of tips and like even some ideas of like, how to choose gathering adult leaders. A really important point I think that I've adopted for all of youth ministry is like, they're not chaperones. Chaperones are like babysitters, like just making sure that everybody's being nice and being good. But an adult leader is someone who's actually walking alongside the youth as they experience this experience. It's really make or break. When I was going through training for the Gathering Synod coordinators, the people who were leading the training are some of the same ones who have contributed to this handbook and have worked for the gathering and been to many, many gatherings. And they said that some of the biggest complaints they get are from adult leaders, especially pastors, having poor attitudes or complaining. I saw some nods from Pastor Kelly. Yes, thank you. So really choosing a positive, open mindset is just really crucial for everyone, especially your adult leaders. So this is just a few things to consider. An effective adult leader will have faith and be able to talk about it comfortably, have a focus on youth and their needs. If you've been to the gathering, it's a great experience and you will come away learning a lot and experiencing a lot and growing as well. But it's not for you. It's not for the adults, it's for the kids. So we need to focus on the youth and their needs and meet them where they are. Be well prepared with a positive, caring, non-anxious, unselfish attitude. Again, putting the group first. be engaged in all the preparation. So this isn't just a trip that is over a year away. It's something that should be built into your youth ministry for the foreseeable future. As in, do group builders. Get your group together to get to know each other better, to come up with a covenant, a set of expectations, and that we are going to promise each other, because it's not just and not just when you get to Minneapolis, but way before that, when you're doing your group builders. And have those adult leaders involved in that group building. The ability to be adaptive and supportive is huge. One of the rules of thumb is that, 3 things will go wrong for each person in your group. So if you have 28 people, and that's all your adult leaders plus the kids, expect that number times 3 to be your number of things that will go wrong. And I don't say that to scare you, but to prepare you, because there is just a lot going on, and there are, it's summer, so people get hot, people can be crabby. Not everybody, people are not used to being in big groups, especially now. So just being able to be adaptive and offer yourself and others a lot of grace is huge. Physical and emotional ability to fully participate in very active programming. So at the last gathering, I had at least 11,000 steps every day on my Fitbit. And I was exhausted and sweaty and gross at the end of every day. And that's just it's fun, and you're on the move all the time. It's a great experience. And also, you have to have the physical and emotional ability to do that. So choosing someone who can keep up and have a good attitude about it is just really crucial. Someone who can help youth be engaged, and by creating a group culture where each person helps each other have a good experience, leading unselfishly, acting with grace, all of those. And there's lots more in the adult leader or the handbook, the gathering handbook, which again is such a great resource. So how about youth? What should we be telling our youth about why they should come to the gathering? So youth want to encounter God, youth who want to encounter God with other Christians like they have never done before. That is awesome. If they're doubting, if they're rock solid in their faith, or anywhere in between, they should come. It's a great experience. If they can be open-minded and have an open heart and have be open to new ideas and people, they will be challenged in their faith, which is awesome. It's a really unique experience, and it's a lot of fun. And if it's something that they also need to commit to. It's not just the trip, like I mentioned, but it's also a ministry, and the desire to make new friends and build existing friendships is also very important. So before the gathering, this is my part of this presentation where I tell you how you can, what resources you can go to keep learning more and have your questions answered and all of that good stuff. Keep checking the website for updates. So elca.org/gathering is just a very well-maintained website. They have a frequently asked questions pull down menu, which includes a lot of answers about COVID related concerns, updates, all kinds of things. Sign up for the G News if you haven't already. So at this website, At the bottom of the homepage, you'll find a square that says sign up for G News. This is a monthly newsletter from the gathering, which has a lot of good information on it. And have other adult leaders and parents and youth sign up for it too, keep everybody informed and excited about it. Prepare yourself and your group for an intentional gathering experience. Prepare your mindset. Again, that like flexibility and openness and consideration for others and inclusion of others. And use the getting ready materials. So at your like group building meetings, which could be when your youth group usually meets, or it could be a Sunday school time, or whenever is good for your group. There's some great materials that will be available June 22nd. And there'll be like, I want to say like 6 or 8 sessions with different things to get your group ready to learn more about Minneapolis, to explore different topics. I've used that getting ready material from the last 2 gatherings, and it's been great. So there's a curriculum team, a group of volunteers who create this, and they do a good job. Okay, the next thing I want to tell you about is webinars. So I also posted this on the Facebook group, which I hope you have joined. If not, please look for that. It's Greater Milwaukee Synod gathering adult leaders. So on the website, you will find a webinar link. If not, you can search for it up in this search bar in the upper right-hand corner. The first webinar is tomorrow, May 20th. So, and that's also when, on May 21st is when volunteer applications open. So they're going to be talking for at least 30 minutes about different volunteer opportunities. So this is a really good one, I think, for people in your congregation who would like to go, but maybe don't want to go with your congregational group. Or I was especially thinking about our seniors who are graduating right now. If the gathering had been in 2021, this summer, they would have been able to go. But because it got pushed out, they're not going to be able to go as youth participants. The gathering is open to youth who are going to be in 8th grade through 12th grade at the time registration opens. So, which is September 22nd. So our current graduating seniors aren't going to be able to go as participants, which is too bad. But they're going to be in a totally different place by next summer. And volunteering would be a great opportunity for them. Lots of people who volunteer say it's just as awesome as participating. So you might want to invite your seniors or whoever else might be interested to learn more about volunteering. And that application opens on the 21st, and it is open until July. So that's for the volunteer, the gathering volunteer core. And that's just a lot of different things. But then there's also a different volunteer opportunity that is great for young adults, college students, other young adults. And it's called servant companion. So these are the youth or young adults who will accompany congregations on their service project day. So you will meet your service companion on the bus when and they will tell you where you're going, and they will be with you, and they will make sure you have your lunches, and they will know who to contact and all of that good stuff. So, and they're also there to, accompany the youth, to work alongside the youth and adults who are engaging in that service day. So that application doesn't open until November. So those are 2 great volunteering things to consider this summer and in the fall. So that's a lot. I've been blathering for quite some time now, and I want to lift up some other things that you can follow to get some of these questions answered. You can follow the gathering on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and they post content most days, and Snapchat as well. Snapchat is a lot more fun at the gathering because everybody is participating and all that good stuff. And like I said, you can contact me if you have questions. There's my email address and my cell phone number. So you can contact me in the next week or so, after May 19th until May 30th. And then after August 1st, because I'm going on sabbatical. So the wonderful Pastor Kelly Neiman Anderson is going to be our interim gathering synod coordinator. So she's going to be available at that email, or you can also contact her through the Facebook group for our synod gathering leaders. And she can help point you to resources, and she can answer questions. She's also been to a bunch of these things. And so Pastor Kelly, thank you so much for being our interim while I am on sabbatical for those 2 months. I appreciate
Woo!
it.
Super
So-
happy to help. I'm a big fan of youth leaders getting time off, and you're definitely not going to get a sabbatical next year. So you need to rest now, Krista.
That's
It's gonna be a
right.
busy year. Rest up. We're going to need
Woo!
you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, I'm just checking out the the comments just to make sure I didn't miss any different things there. Oh, I also wanted to mention that we have some other synod leaders for our synod day, which are Pastor Drew and Pastor Sarah Yos, and they are going to be contacting you probably in the fall about people who might want to help with like playing instruments, leading worship, doing different things on our synod day. Pastor Tyler has a great question. Is the synod doing a bus? Actually, Pastor Kelly is going to be doing some exploration of that come fall. So thank you so much. I do want to say that busing is a good way to go, because the transportation team, another rock star team of volunteer leaders who like coordinates hundreds of buses. I can't even like compute that. They are suggesting that we take buses and then sublet them to the gathering. Now, I think that's how they wanted us to do it like every year, but like the gathering of Minneapolis like doesn't want our buses hanging out downtown. They want to drop us. They want to be the bus drivers to drop us off and come back and get us. And so if you can, if we can do this synod bus thing, we totally will. We're gonna kind of look into that come fall when people are thinking about transportation a little bit more. So yeah, and even if you're a bigger congregation who might get their own bus, I would go for the buses over like renting a bunch of vehicles if you're a bigger group. So are there any big changes to the gathering compared to the previous years other than starting on Sunday? Well, the synod day in congregations, that's a big change. That's a cool thing. You'll get like gathering provided lunch on your synod, or the synod day at a local church, and also your service day. So I think that's a big win, because those are 2 days you don't have to figure out what you're going to feed everybody for lunch. Yes, I'm excited for those. And then COVID stuff. So, we know how things are rapidly changing even on May 19th, 2021. And now all of the kids who will be eligible to go are also eligible to be vaccinated. And the gathering does not anticipate requiring vaccination. However, they are strongly recommending it. It's very difficult to, socially distance 30,000 youth. And, we don't know what it'll be like next summer. However, the gathering leadership are absolute rock stars, and they will continue to take the advice of local, state, and national health recommendations. So yeah, so those are the big things, but stay tuned to all of those different information channels too. Do you have an inside track to getting the best roles for mass cast? I do not have that kind of power. But mass cast, for those of you who are watching and might not know what that is, when you register your group, there will be a question of like, would your congregation be willing to participate in mass cast? So that would be people who are like part of the evening worship. So like, this is one that I'm thinking of from a past gathering. There were like a bunch of churches, probably 100 or more kids, who were given t-shirts to be part of like a procession during the worship. So that would be like a mass cast thing. Or you can also volunteer to be communion assistants. So there will be a box there that says, yes, my congregation is willing to be communion assistants. So then they would participate by helping with communion stations at the last worship service. So being dancers or being on stage, or and usually that also includes a practice. So I think being part of the mass worship is an amazing opportunity, but also know that you might have to sacrifice doing something else so that you can be at the practice. So mass cast means that kids are a cast of the mass gathering. So they volunteer to help with the evening gathering in the big Viking stadium. Yes, thank you. This will be the first time our church is going. Any advice for first timers? Oh, that is a wonderful, wonderful question. Okay, so first of all, read this. Read the Gathering Handbook. Again, you can buy it on Old Lutheran, or you can download it off the website or my Facebook group, and read it cover to cover. There's just so much good stuff in there. And also, when you're reading it cover to cover, don't get overwhelmed, because we've all had our first times, and it can be very overwhelming. Reach out to others in your congregation who have done this before. Reach out to our Facebook group. Reach out to Pastor Kelly or myself, and just start talking about it with the youth too. Encourage them to watch some of the promotional videos that are on the Gathering website. There's a whole tab that's resources. And there's just lots of good things on there, like, graphics that you can use, like my Zoom background came from there, and lots of different things to just really get kids thinking about it. And, if you have another neighboring congregation of youth who have gone, then you might want to partner with them in your preparation. I know Pastor Kelly and I are both in Racine, and we've talked about doing some of the getting ready sessions together with local congregations. So Pastor Tyler has some great advice. Bring stuff to do some type of your own group fun every day. Have a good stick evening.
Glow sticks. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Bring glow sticks. That's always fun. Wear the same shirts every day. Oh my gosh, yes. Make every day in one way your own. Yeah, yeah. Like you can be creative. Take advantage of the things that Minneapolis has to offer. Like one of the things is there's a ton of parks. Take your kids to a park and let them have some free time. There's not a lot of free time. It's a lot of go, 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 but you can plan it in, and you can also be flexible in feeling out your group and saying, okay, they're pretty low energy today. Maybe we just need to like take some time out from interactive learning day and find a park to play frisbee in. Are we doing Synod t-shirts? Yes, definitely. We'll talk more about that soon. Yes, Pastor Kelly, there's an assigned gathering shirt for service day. Some synods do a synod shirt on synod day. I'll do a congregational shirt for the interactive center day. It's fun, sort of. I love it. I do the same thing, and it's good for a lot of congregations do. I mean, you'll just when the gathering was in Detroit, the local news said we were like Skittles. We looked like a bunch of Skittles walking around because there's just all these bright colored T-shirts of youth and adults wearing the same design T-shirt. Old Lutheran has a lot of merch. Actually, my T-shirt, I just got it on clearance because, as you can see, it says 2021. They have all their clearance, all their 2021 stuff on clearance. And like the 2021 is so tiny. I was like, I don't care. So, oh yes, Pastor Alexis, I love Matchy Matchy as well. It is so fun. And it helps you keep track of your kids too. Yeah, I actually thought like for Synod Day, it would be really fun to do like a t-shirt design contest. Last cycle I was kind of late to the game, so I just picked one on behalf of our synod, and people could order it or not order it as they wanted to. But I think it would be fun to have kids kind of engaged in designing it or something. So yeah. All right. Thanks, Pastor Alexis. Thanks for coming, Lisa. Is there any other questions, suggestions, anything? Is the second half of Synod Day free time again? It's a good question. I'm not sure.
So the new Synod Day timing means we'll start later. So, right, because the schedule you gave us was that Synod Day is from 11 to 3.
Right.
So there's still free time in there, but not as much as we might have had before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But Synod Day is a good day to like plan something, like if you wanted to go to a museum or like some kind of like special thing, that would be a good day to do that. So yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you for joining me either live or watching the recording, and feel free to reach out to me or Pastor Kelly if you have any questions. And I just will continue to pray for you as you share this information with your youth and search for adults and connect to the plethora of resources that are available. Continue to check in on the Greater Milwaukee Synod Facebook page for the Synod and also for our Synod gathering leaders. There will be regular updates there, and also I try to keep Robin at the Synod office is helping me a lot with communications as well. So there will be stuff on the Synod listserv as well as the Synod weekly newsletter too. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Krista, I think Lisa and I might stay on and chat for a minute.
Yes.
But after recording.
Yes. Let me stop recording. Haha. Stop.
Hi, Lisa.